There's a whole bunch of question marks with the Pittsburgh Steelers offense in a division where you have the Baltimore Ravens that will be back with the league MVP and Lamar Jackson. You look at the rest of the AFC, New England, Buffalo. You got the AFC South, Houston, Tennessee. You got the AFC West with Kansas City. And so I look at it from the perspective that you juxtapose that, or you compare that rather, to the Dallas Cowboys. Let's understand something. The NFC East is always haphazard. You got a new coach in Mike McCarthy who's clearly an upgrade from Jason Garrett. You still got personnel in Cooper, in Gallup, and others. Dak Prescott is there. Ezekiel Elliott is there. You don't expect their defense to be worse than it was last year. There's still some question marks with the Eagles because of their injuries, even though they won a division this year. And I just look at it from a perspective that the Dallas Cowboys, in terms of personnel, they have more reliable guys simply because they're healthier.
The reason Stephen A. is a Steelers fan is the same reason when I was a kid I was a Steelers fan. Because back in the day, if your local team stunk, you had two choices in the 70s. Two choices of out-of-market teams to root for. You either root for the Cowboys if you were a front runner, or if you were real, you rooted for the Steelers. So, I love this question. Those were the national brands that you could root for out of market. And Stephen A., just like you're rolling over on the Lakers, you're rolling over on the Steelers. The NFL, I don't know how many times I have to say it, the NBA is a players' league. Major League Baseball is a general managers' league. The NFL is a coaches' league. Look at the head coach. And by the way, Stephen A., you went against the Browns based on your suspicions of Freddie Kitchens last year because of it. Look at Mike Tomlin. He was just showing off last year. He was playing with Delvin Hodges. It's like his third-string quarterback. He lost Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and then for good measure, Ben Roethlisberger, and won 8 games. Now, how many times in his career as a head coach? This man has finished below 500. How many losing seasons? 0. 0. And now he gets Roethlisberger back? No. Look, I don't know if either one of them is going to make the playoffs, but if I had to pick one, the head coach who never loses, and if you give him some talent, is always in the playoffs, I'm taking your Pittsburgh Steelers, Hollywood Smith.
All right, let me break this tie right now. My man Stephen A., he's a little relaxed, no tie on.
No
relaxed.
tie. Look at this.
Looking very Chippendale-ish, I might say, out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll take that.
I thought it was Louis Riddick over there,
No. Even though once I give it up and go bald, maybe. But he's got a much bigger head.
That is very true. But here's what I'm going to agree with Stephen A. And I cannot believe that I'm actually doing this because, Stephen A., I know that you hate the Cowboys and you love to throw the shade on them. But it's not just about the teams. It's about the pond that each one of them is swimming in. If you look at the NFC East, you have 2 quarterbacks that are going to be second-year quarterbacks, and Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins. Those guys have a long way to go with the Redskins and the Giants. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, who managed to squeak in, had a ton of injuries, and Carson Wentz, who was really good at the end of the year, still had injury concerns, and those are going to be ongoing until he's able to change. You look then at the AFC North and what you have to face over there. You have Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. They are coming for everybody. The Cleveland Browns are going to be much better this year.
Much better.
And then you got the Bengals, and you know what? They're in a rebuild.
They should be moved to the NFC East.
They should.
The Bengals should be moved to the NFC East.
And so that's why when I look at this, it's not to throw any shade at Mike Tomlin because I think he's a phenomenal coach, but he has 2 legitimate playoff teams that he's going to have to contend with. In Dallas, you really have the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is it. They proved last year that they can at least play toe-to-toe with them. Now can they bring in a coach in Mike McCarthy who has won a Super Bowl and has won the same number of Super Bowls, Max, as Mike Tomlin, I believe. And so maybe he can get them over the top, get the most out of this roster. So it has to be the Dallas Cowboys.
I love all this faith in Mike McCarthy, who was once a really good coach, but then the league passed him by. We see the coaches that are truly great adapt with the times and even innovate. Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, obviously, and guys like that. And you have to look at Mike Tomlin as a guy. Like, he went from defensive guy to they were playing one-on-one with wideouts to offensive guy to a guy when he has no talent can still get you there. Like Damian Lillard, I said the other day, there's no excuses with Mike Tomlin. All he does is win.
Well, you mentioned Bill Belichick. You mentioned Andy Reid. Max, when did they become much better? When did those guys all of a sudden be better? in their second stop as a head coach. They both struggled early on. Andy Reid could never win the big one. He could get you there in Philadelphia. In Kansas City, he gets you there, and then he has Pat Mahomes, and he takes it over the top. Bill Belichick was in Cleveland. He took the Browns to the playoffs. All of a sudden, he goes to New England. Things change. It's Tom Brady, young one. Then he begins to accelerate. I think Mike McCarthy, after a year off, can have that same type of impact.
Those guys had short legs. Okay, Andy Reid is a little bit different, though he got to the NFC Championship game every single year. This is, Mike McCarthy basically got this job because Jerry Jones believes he can push him around when push comes to shove, let's be honest. And because he convinced them that he's into analytics now. Why? Because he sold them on it? Why wasn't he into it when he had his last job with Aaron freaking Rodgers? All of a sudden, because he gives you he attend a TED Talk and now he's into analytics or something and he's selling that? No, I got to see some evidence. I haven't seen any evidence of that from Mike McCarthy. Good, solid coach, but the league passed him by with Aaron Rodgers.
With all due respect, how the hell are you supposed to see the evidence? He hasn't been coaching yet. I mean, this is his second chance right here, so it's a matter of what you believe. No, I'm saying it's a matter of what you believe. It's not like he's had an opportunity and he's failed. You haven't seen it yet, just like you didn't see Bill Belichick and what he was going to do or various others. All I'm trying to say is this. Look at the talent that they have combined with the durability at the quarterback position. Dak Prescott hasn't missed a game. It was back page news when he missed a practice. Ezekiel Elliott isn't hurt. He played this year. Amari Cooper got hurt a little bit, but Gallup is ascending as well. And so when I look at it from that perspective and I look at how haphazard the NFC East can be, and then I look at Pittsburgh, you know what? Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have some kind of abdominal issue or something like that. Ben Roethlisberger has an elbow issue. We don't know how he's going to be able to throw that football. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.